protein timing can slow your Zepbound weight loss progress. If you're having a weight stall, this is the episode for you. Hi besties, I'm Elizabeth, the Countess of Shopping. I've lost over 113 pounds the last almost 3 years of being on Zepbound, Mounjaro, and now Tirzepatide compound, which is GLP1 plus GIP. And on today's episode, I want to revisit a topic we've talked previously about, which is protein relating to our GLP-1 weight loss. Whether you're on Wegovy, semaglutide, Ozempic, or you're on Tirzepatide, Mounjaro, Zepbound compounds or not, this information is super important for your weight loss journey. Basically, there's a study, and I will link this down in the description link below. As always, you know I will cite my sources. They're talking about why as GLP-1 patients and weight loss folks in general, but in a health journey, of why we shouldn't get most of our protein at dinner, and why dietitians say that that is such a big mistake. If you are holding out getting a lot of your protein at dinner time, why this is potentially sabotaging your weight loss and definitely slowing down your weight loss. And I was going through this article, I was like, this is really powerful. I need this reminder. And I'm the one that, like, we talk about, I have a daily show talking about GLP-1 weight loss. And so if I need this reminder, I know you probably need to either hear this information for the first time or rehear this information as to why protein and spreading it out throughout the day, particularly though in the morning and early afternoon, why that may be better for your weight loss journey. There's many reasons actually. And the first one was, it was talking in here about, before I deep dive into the article, there was a reference in the article that I was like, I gotta fact check that. It was talking about that protein requires more calories to digest protein than it does carbohydrates. And I saw that and I was like, I pulled my glasses down and was like, I'm gonna need some more proof on that. And it is in fact true. And if you didn't know that, I talk about this, like I said, but I didn't recognize the science behind it. It is true. The concept is known as thermic effect of food, TEF, or sometimes called specific dynamic action, SDA. And basically what the bottom line is you burn more calories digesting protein than you do like carbohydrates. And when I looked at it, it had, for example, if you were comparing protein is calories per gram for carbohydrates, same thing, 4, and then fat, 9 calories per gram. The thermic effect of food, TEF, for protein, actually, the implication is up to 30% of the calories from protein are burned simply to process it. I said, ding, 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 I need to be eating more protein with all of the things we're going to be talking about. But just that one nugget alone of protein, up to 30% of the calories from protein are burned simply to process it. And then if you compare with carbohydrates, a much smaller percentage of carb calories is used for digestion. And then dietary fat is the easiest to process, requiring minimal energy. And so it goes on in this art, in the talking about that. But what I thought was fascinating on this of why bumping up your protein, and if you are holding your protein for later on in the day, which I've been known to do this, it can slow down your weight loss journey. And so I really want to encourage you, if you're having a weight stall or feeling like you're having challenges with your weight, switching the way that your protein is distributed. I work with Join Fridays. I have now for over 2 years, since October 2 years ago. To me, they are the leading experts in obesity management. I was on brand name with Zepbound and Mounjaro, and switched over to the compound GLP-1 plus GIP. It's been going great. I love it. I've been with them for 2 years, and you have to be an existing patient to do brand name, and I very well may switch back over to brand name later on, but to do that, you do need to be an existing patient. But the dietitian that they have multiple ones on staff, said this thing to me months ago. And again, I needed to hear this multiple times. And so you probably have heard this, but hearing it again of why this makes such a big difference for our weight loss journey. And for me, if I'm having a weight stall, changing things up like this, super, super helpful. And so I want to encourage you that, number one, it requires more calories to digest protein. And so switching those out, if you're not having more of a high protein diet, talk to your healthcare provider about it. With the dietitian at Join Fridays, they shared with me a whole dietitian plan, how many calories I needed to have, having that included in my service. And so if you're looking to switch or go on to GLP-1 plus GIP, I highly recommend Join Fridays. You can use my discount code QUEEN, QUEEN. I will link it down below. If you're looking to switch from brand name over to GLP-1 plus GIP like I did, it has been awesome. To get the refills is awesome. And having that dietitian to coach me along included in this and having that support with my obesity management has been chef's kiss. I highly recommend. But the dietitian mentioned this and was talking about, for me, my blood sugar levels have lots of benefits like sustained energy, less hunger, and protein can help with that. Research has shown eating more protein and fewer carbs help our blood sugars balance out. I feel like if you're in the weight loss community, you probably already know that. But the reminder of that, of reducing my body's need for insulin, super helpful for somebody who's been insulin resistant. And so if you wait until dinner to eat most of your protein, you could be missing out on the protein blood sugar perks all throughout the day. So not just at dinner time, but for your breakfast and for your lunch and for your dinner. So for that whole time frame, a blood sugar remained lower after lunch and dinner compared to people who didn't need a high protein breakfast. And so having that blood sugar, getting that jump start early with protein for breakfast, I've made that change recently. The count has been so nice. I'm in my busy season right now. And so with my job, Q4, it's always crazy for me. It goes from like September to December 19th, literally that night, and then I will crash and then my work schedule will dramatically change. And so to that point, my hot husband has been so helpful and he's been giving me protein shakes basically as my breakfast. Y'all, it has made such a big difference switching the way I have my protein shake to have that first. I want to encourage you, if you're at a weight stall, switching around the way that you eat your protein, the timing of your protein, having more of that earlier on, it has made a big difference for me. I got back from Disney. I was very puffy coming back from Disney. I told my husband, I was like, I have the travel and the Disney puff. And I feel like it's gone this week. I've been lifting. And so it feels so good to be lifting and it feels so good to be having a lot of protein with my high protein diet with it. But switching around, having my protein shake first for breakfast. And for me, that's around, I don't know, like 9:30-ish, 10 a.m.-ish. And so when the count brings it to me, it's so sweet. And so why that makes such a big difference. But if your protein ends up for dinner on your dinner plate, there's a few potential downsides of having that without having protein at breakfast and lunch or having minimal ones. You're going to feel hungrier. And so guess what happens when I'm hungrier? I eat more. And so I'm consuming more calories. And so for me, consuming more calories, right now I'm in maintenance mode, which is different than weight loss mode, but we got to be in a calorie deficit if we're in weight loss mode. And so without protein to tide us over in between meals, we may experience also, in addition to being hungrier, in addition to consuming more calories, but it's the energy dips, particularly if earlier meals are made mostly of carbohydrates. There's going to be a dip in that energy because of the blood sugar, because of our blood sugar. And protein takes a long time to digest. Eating a large amount of it all at once could make digestive discomfort for bloating or feeling uncomfortable. And so fortunately, spreading our protein across meal times does not have to be an exact science. So it's okay if your distribution isn't perfectly even. And that was one of the things, and I don't know if you're like this too, of where I'm like, I have to get it perfectly. If I'm having 120 calories, I need to be having like, just start switching it around and seeing how you feel. Now, everybody's body's different. None of this is medical advice or healthcare advice. I'm not a dietitian or pretend to play one on the internet, but taking from these reliable, trusted sources and incorporating these strategies in, just try it. Tomorrow, just try it and see if you bulking up earlier on with your protein, if that makes a difference for your energy, for your digestion, and for your fullness level. Today for me is shot day, which means when it's near shot day, guess what happens? I'm hungrier, I have more of an appetite. And so we had to go to my kid's soccer game earlier. And so my husband and I didn't get our protein shakes. We didn't get our breakfast. We were ravenous. I just got back. It's 1:15 right now as I'm filming this. Y'all, I was so hungry and I ate substantially more than I normally would by not having my protein off earlier in the day. And for me, it was like ding, 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 ding. I eat more when I don't have my protein first thing for my breakfast, which for me, first thing is 9:30, around 9:30 a.m. You do you, but for me, that works well. But starting with a high protein breakfast, and by the way, that for me is 20 grams of protein, just to give some context. It's not like I'm having 40 grams of protein at 9:30 a.m. I would like to. I'm not there yet and I'm not going to force feed myself either and be like, here's 2 protein shakes, let me have those. But just having a protein smoothie with chia seeds and flax seeds or eggs or Greek style yogurt or cottage cheese or a protein shake or something like that for breakfast, just tweaking and trying what works for you. I'm not a huge cottage cheese lover, although I did have cottage cheese twice this week. I had it in my salad. Woo! Because I'm trying to get more protein. And it's hard for me when I do not take accountability in tracking my protein, I don't get it in. And I do eat more calories and I do have a dip in my sugars and I am hungrier. It's all of those things, 1, 2, and 3. And so working in protein at lunch, to me, lunch is so simple to get protein in, like a high protein lunch. And I'm like, "Oh, that's very easy to do." Of literally, you can do sandwiches. You can do preparing a batch of grilled chicken. You can have on salads. You can have soups. Oh my gosh, bean-based soups right now. It's chilly outside. I did have actually lentils when I came home. Who is the countess in the community? And maybe it was a count, but I think it was a countess who was talking about their lentils. If that was you, you were in my head today because I had lentils for lunch. And so having bean-based soups also for that high protein snacks. What I find also when I have my protein distributed earlier for breakfast and lunch versus having a big bulk of it at dinner time is I have less snacks. Anybody else feel that way or is it just me? I have less snacks with having protein earlier and more evenly distributed. And I don't have as many snacks. And so I'm eating less calories, helping out with that calorie deficit. Definitely sipping on, like I've gotten into lattes. I used to poo-poo lattes, but then now I've really gotten it now that the weather's getting colder. I'm like, lattes have protein in them. Lattes are warm and they're very, very filling for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can have a hot latte. It is it's nice for me. It's nice. But I think one of the biggest things of this shift though, of looking through the evidence of I burn more calories when I have protein, I eat less. I find it's also enjoyable when I have enjoyable things. Where I find that this doesn't work well is if you're forcing yourself to eat like cottage cheese, which say I don't really like. I was forcing to have like cottage cheese with fruit, for example, for breakfast. Ugh. Like that's yucky to me. So don't do things that you think are gonna be yucky to you. Do things that would motivate you or excite you or fit well into your meal plan with it. But simply shifting around these times, that could be the hinge pin if you're having a weight stall or weight challenges to get to the next level. And to me, on this 300 plus pound, I weighed over 300 pounds and losing 113 pounds. I think one of the reasons to my success is like new level, next skill set, new level, next skill set, new level, next skill set. We got to keep leveling up our skill sets. For me, what I did 2 years ago is not in the body in which I'm working with now. Right? And what I'm doing now, to be fair, 6 months from now is going to be very different. My intention and plan is I want to be, I told my husband, femininely jacked. I want to have a lot of muscle, but very femininely. I don't know what the right word is for that, of where I don't want to look like I want to look not crazy muscular, but feminine muscular, of where I'm toned. That's what someone said that too. Another counter said that the other day too. They're like, the word you're looking for is toned. I want to look toned. And so particularly in my arms, like I'm very excited about this next phase. But what I'm doing now is not going to necessarily get me to that part. I've got to have new skill sets in there and I've got to be trying some different things as I go through. And so I want to encourage you, if you are stuck, if you feel like you're in this like peg, like just stuck, try this. Switch up your breakfast, switch up your protein breakfast. Just starting off with a protein breakfast and then, okay, what's going to be the protein lunch? Where's the focus going? As opposed to, which I have been guilty of. I have been guilty of that, of holding on to these proteins until later on. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I've eaten all my calories for the day and I'm hungry. And that's one of the things, friends, I don't mind hunger. Like, hello, I think as human beings, we're supposed to feel hunger, we're supposed to feel fullness. And so I still sometimes have to work on, it's skewed for me from when I weighed over 300 pounds and being morbidly obese, that it's okay to be hungry, But if I have this consistent hunger with it, there's ways that I cannot feel that way all the time, which is with more protein, of where I feel this satiation and fullness level. And I'm like, oh, that's how normal quote people do it. How they're having these lower calories with feeling fuller and building muscle. And it's not deprivation, right? It's not white knuckling it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, I'm so hungry. I don't feel that. I feel hunger, but it's not like the white knuckle. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like that white knuckle hunger of like, oh my gosh, I've had that so many times of where I get to the evening and I'm like, my calorie deficit, I've eaten all of my calorie deficit. Like I'm not in a calorie deficit anymore. I've eaten all my calories. And then what do? Just sit here being flippin' hungry. And so again, if you feel that way, A, it might be near your period. But B, what's your protein levels like? When I have those pockets where I'm like, I'm so hungry, it's usually because I have 50 grams of protein per day versus 100 or 120 grams of protein per day. I put in my lunch, for example, it's 120 right now. To use myself as a personal example, and feel free to take this for yourself, I looked at how many calories I had today already. And like I said, I had a lentil bean-based soup, but with it I had some rice and I had red pepper, and I wanted to put in some of my turkey. That was a whole plan, was because I could put 99% lean turkey into the lentil sauce with it to cover in the protein. And I realized we didn't have any 99% ground turkey left. And so it jacked with my protein. So I had 560 calories. And then for my protein, it's only 20 grams of protein. Ideally, I like to do 100 calories, 10 grams of protein. So at 560 calories, I'd like to be at 56 grams of protein, and I'm at 20. You see where, like, and now I'm hungry. I had 560 calories. I should be quite full at this point, and I'm not. And so I'm sharing with that as you guys can see some of my mistakes of when I do have, again, having that protein shake earlier. Today was a weird day because of my kid's soccer game and things like that. And that's exactly where I wanted to be. And I wanted to be on the soccer field. But by adjusting the different times in which we have proteins, it can either aid in our weight loss or hinder our weight loss. And it may be, friend, that your weight plateau that you're having is simply just distributing your protein at a different time. Literally, that could be the hinge pin and unlock a whole new level of weight loss for you, or a whole new weight loss level in terms of muscle mass growth, of growing your lean muscle mass. And for me, like, that's very exciting. Very, very exciting. Now, taking a right turn, many of you guys had asked when my next totally taking a right turn HSN and QVC show. It will be next week. If you're watching this literally over the weekend of the day I release it, I will be on HSN on November 20th, 21st, and potentially November 22nd in the free encouragement group, countessofshopping.com. I'll put the times. Sometimes I get bumped. So if they say, for example, like 9 a.m., one of the days it's like 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And sometimes then I get bumped to like, either they'll bump it to the 8 o'clock hour or 9 o'clock hour, or they'll make it like 7:45 a.m. So if they say 7 a.m., they really mean like 7 to 8 a.m. Anyways, I'll put the times down that I get in the free encouragement group. If you want to watch me next week on, it won't be QVC, it will be on HSN. Woo, very exciting. And of course, our Black Friday special here, I will be going live on Thanksgiving evening, starting with the Black Friday deals, going live on Thanksgiving, November 27th, and then into November 28th and Cyber Monday. I've got all of your deals, and that whole weekend long, I've been doing like for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. I've got it all set up for you guys for our best deals as well. I hope this protein, for me, knowing one thing and doing one thing are two separate animals. And so what we do with what we know, that's really when we've learned something. So implementing this strategy for me, I want to be like, I've learned this lesson. I don't need to go around this mountain one more time. I'm going to literally implement it tomorrow again, of making sure I'm having that high protein early in the morning. It makes a difference for my blood sugars, my energy level, my satiation. I'm really full, and ultimately less calories for me. I told my husband this week my Disney bloat went down, and travel bloat, because of having higher grams of protein earlier in the day. Same amount, just distribute, still a very high protein amount, but just distributed earlier in the day. And my dietitian at Join Fridays, bless her, was like, do not be afraid of doing that. And I told her, I was like, I'm really afraid to do that. I'm afraid I'm gonna eat so much earlier on. And she's like, please don't be afraid. Doing this calorie distribution, the grams of protein distribution earlier, she's like, just test it. And she was right. She was right. So if you are looking to switch over to Join Fridays, or simply if you want the GLP-1 plus GIP, use the discount code QUEEN. Many of you guys have asked me about pricing, whether you want just GLP-1 or GLP-1 plus GIP. Go check out their pricing, but just it's at the very end at checkout. It says discount code, it's QUEEN. And that will save you some money off of your first month. One of the other ways to save too is doing the annual payment. Somebody had asked me on Countless of Shopping Instagram, because I'd mentioned it, about the amount. It's when you pay annually, you do save quite a bit of coin too. So check that out as well too if you're looking to like drop like, and it's, and you know, like for me, I'm like, I know I'm going to be on GLP-1 in the next year. You know what I mean? And I will link this article down below too. I would like to know, my question of the day for you is, what are you going to implement with your protein? Tell me down in the comments. I'm super curious. I would love to know, what are you going to be implementing, right? Because even if you're like the best of the best of the best, new level, new skill set. New level, new skill set. New level, new skill set. So what's the new skill set you're focusing in on with protein today and this week? Tell me in the comments below. Our emoji of the day today is going to be an egg. Because we're talking about protein, and I do emojis of the day to get to know you better because I care, and emojis are like my bat signal to pray over you if you don't believe in prayer, uplift you in positive thought, because all are welcome at the Countess of Shopping table. My sweet friends, I love you guys so much. Make sure you check out Join Fridays. I'll link that down below. Use the discount code QUEEN, and I'll link also down below the free encouragement group and the articles in which I'm referencing with dietitian information on there as well. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys. Have a great